where you pray that day, all the prayer is unto God you didn't go to. Or that, I mean, which means maybe you have some other God you are praying to, not the one that wrote Bible. Perambulation, walking around. The Bible says angels in heaven, they have 6 wings. With 2 they cover their feet, which means in heaven angels they don't walk around anyhow. With 2 they cover their face, which means they never saw God before. And with 2 they fly. Covering their feet actually says when you are an angel in heaven, you don't just walk around. In fact, you control your feet. But in church today, you are going to see walking around as if it's a fashion. The reality of it is that does not make time of worship to be silent and cold. No. If it is that time you run around, you do all that, acceptable. But when that is over, sit down. But after any such thing that is done, half of the entire church is outside. So people are hungry, they want to go and eat. But if you are in police station, can you say to policeman that you should quickly want to go and eat? Serious matter. If you are in the hospital, can you say to the doctor that you quickly want to go and eat? You don't even have the sense anyway. So the reality, can you be in the front of your local government chairman and tell him that you are hungry, you really want to go and eat? You can see how dishonored is by our human activity, and we want that same God to answer prayer and fight for us. The Bible says when you go to God, keep your feet, stop perambulation. Stop perambulating and gallivanting everywhere. That's one. I'm going to share some notes that is going to make it confronter. That's what I'm saying. That will make it simple for us to understand. Now, number 2, the Bible talks about garrulousness. That is to say, talking too much. In fact, many of us, we have reason for everything that God says we are doing wrong. We have reasons. In fact, the Bible says there, do not be rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty. Which means, even if you are not saying it in your mouth, if you are thinking in your heart that everybody is doing it, or what will I do now? If it is God, what will he do? Or if it is pastor, what will he do? You are already failing. When you are with God, God is awesome. God is God. God, the word God actually means one that deserves honor. That word God means one that deserves all your honor in the heart. So when he's talking, you are talking, then who should be listening to? We don't take prayer to God anymore. What we take to God is argument. Somewhere, so you can you imagine somebody come to church after me, God has you have answered him, you let me alone. Is that prayer? Complaint and argument. Even in sinning, that you know that you are sinning, you are telling God why you should have to sin. Why? Because you cannot, it's beyond your ability. Can't you imagine? The Bible says that God can never tell you to do what is beyond your ability. God can never. If God says you should be holy, God can never tell you to do what is beyond your ability. God knows that you can be holy. That's why he says you should be holy. And you are telling him why it's not easy in Lagos. So you should have been created in the village, where you can never come to Lagos. God says you should fast. Then you say that mouth is created for eating. Your mouth is not created for eating, it's created for talking. Talking to God, evangelizing. That's what your mouth is created for. It's not for eating. My belly is rumbling. Are we alive here? God that created belly, you are here. Seeing how belly is doing for him. So the reality, most of the time, we are too much of argument, and based on our human senses, devil has trained us to do all that, because devil knows that by the time we are expert in doing all that, it's a matter of waste of time to say that we are serving God, because he knows the standard. Devil himself knows the standard of God. When devil enter into the presence of God in heaven, God asked him where you are coming from. He said to and fro. But before God that he was talking, he wasn't going to and fro. Devil himself was not going to and fro when he got to God. He stayed somewhere. He wasn't walking up and down before God, because he knows that in heaven where God is, you don't walk up and down there. But he can walk up and down here and teach people here to walk up and down when they come to God, to church, because he wants them to become enemy of themselves. So you see, very keenly and very simply, devil himself before God doesn't walk up and down. He was talking to God and stayed somewhere, and when he finished talking, he moved. So the reality, and he wasn't saying nonsense. You can go and verify what he was saying to God. He was actually accusing and looking for something, accusing those that God will answer their prayer. So he goes to God for purpose. He didn't go there to argue, to say why things are not happening to him. He knows already his judgment. So as a result, he was not complaining. They want to achieve results with the little time he has. So, but you, as a child of God, everything is argument, complain, and this and that. Why you have to fight somebody? Why you have to keep malice with somebody? Why you have to do what you did? Well, he cheated me. He look at me somehow. Are we alive here? Do you know when you are in church, your heart is in all that, trying to justify yourself that you have to be to keep malice, you have to be wicked, you have to be ungodly, you have to be unlovely. Your heart is doing all that. And you know what? Satan is making all your heart to have that market, because he knows that that is already a stopper to your prayer. That's why the Bible is saying, Paul says, I think 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, that we should not allow Satan to take advantage of us. We should know all his devices. Let your heart be pure. Pure heart means that your heart does not have argument inside of it. Your heart does not have debts that can make you, not even you are sure that you have kept all the will of God and you are purity of heart. So you don't need to talk much before your prayers are answered. You can now understand why we quote all the Bible, but we do not have all the prayer answered. They did that. They don't know Bible. They don't even know how to read it. They just carry it as decoration to show that we are Christians. God is answering their prayer like fire. Why? The little you tell them about God, they hear it. When I was small, our grandparents, when they go to church, if the church is going to start 9 o'clock, they sit down where their space from 7 o'clock ahead of the church for 2 hours, praying there. You never see any one of them say that I want to stand up and go and do anything. In fact, today, every church, we have market around the church. Someone selling something, someone selling something. In those days, there are no marketing around church. So everybody sit down and concentrate on what he went to do. I know what? They will never stand up there until start finishing. But today, we are always